Good morning, dear student. Dear student, today we are going to see about 10th July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. 10th July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So, dear student, I'm just going to tell you what is the importance of newspaper. So, during discussion of newspaper, I'm going to give you 10 to 12 tasks during this discussion. If you are able to practice and make note of it, it is my promise you'll get around 20 to 30 marks in your prelims, extra marks as compared to other students. And in mains also you'll get 80 plus marks in gs and sa as compared to your competitive other friends. So please read it very carefully, and whatever task I'm giving, please follow it very religiously, because small steps in every each and every day, that makes big difference in your selection process. Okay, so dear student, first, how to get this PDF? Simply, you can scan this QR code or download our Strivage IS Academy application in the Play Stores. From there, you can get all these infographics, not the today, for last 1 year current affair newspaper. Okay. Then those who are using iOS device, so how you can get this infographics? So you have to download the Class Plus application, then use the org code PKRMEJ. Okay. So first important news is ED search 11 location in donkey route. So here the important term is donkey route. So what do you mean by donkey route? देखो, there are so many people, they are having American dream that they want to live in America with high living standard, but they are not able to qualify, don't have resources to reach the America. So they follow some illegal route. For example, from India, they migrated to South America. In South America, they use some border journey and by road journey to entering into the America through Mexican border. So this route is quite, these led to the, some people with illegal activity, they extract huge amount of money to promote the donkey route. And donkey route is quite dangerous also, because you have to pass through the deep jungle, you have to pass through the mafia land. So there is a high chances of death, trafficking of human being. Okay. So enforcement directorate on Wednesday conducted a search at 11 location in Punjab, Haryana in connection with the donkey routes case, in which illegal immigrant were deported from USA. So you can see about the agent used to dupe innocent person as they were sent through the illegal route under the influence of donkey, that is human trafficking conduit. So in UPSC, they can ask about the donkey route recently seen in news related to what. Okay. So next is 12 collapse as key bridge, 12 kills as the key bridge collapse in the Barodara. So recent time we are seeing that so many disasters is happening. So that is a wake up call for our administration, for our government. We need to ensure safety audit. We need to bring a culture of safety. We are very reactive after an incident is happening. So disaster management required proactive, not after the disaster, but before the disaster, we need to prepare. So let's say there are so many bridges, so many vulnerable places, we have to conduct safety audit before the monsoon, so that we should know whether these are having any cracks, any problem, so that this precious life we can save. Okay. So next, no decision yet on updating national population registry along with the census. So we know that census is going to conduct in 2027. So Ministry of Home officer, Ministry of Home affairs said that there is no such things. Okay? Center has not yet decided whether to update national population registry during the upcoming census 2027. Senior Ministry of Home Affairs officials said that. Okay? So you can see here detailed list. So national population registry is the first step towards creation of the national registry of citizen. Okay? So national population registry first created in 2010 and updated in 2015-16. So national population registry has detail of household wise database of 119 crore usual resident of the country. So national population registry data can be shared with the government agency and states, unlike the census data. Census data is having a confidentiality clause. So anything you share with the census, so this is going to be confidential. That is not going to share with anyone. And dear student, next year after prelims, hardly there is 75 days between prelims and mains. So if you want to start right answer writing and improve, so you can simply scan this QR code or download our Strivage IS Academy application, and there you can join our mains answer writing program. It is very nominal fee, yet all our copies are evaluated by UPSC selected candidates, faculties. So next is the Trinamool Congress claimed that migrant worker from the Bengal illegally detained in Odisha. So recently what happened, the Odisha police detained some of the migrant worker, believing that they are the illegal migrant from the Bangladesh and Myanmar. So we are Odisha is currently doing the verification, but the West Bengal claim that these are migrant from the West Bengal. These are being harassed by the state government. So next is the proceeds of crime added to the conversion cases. So recently, enforcement director registered a money laundering cases connection with religious conversion racket recently busted in the Balrampur district of Uttar Pradesh. So law enforcement agencies and economy intelligence agencies asked a section under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So dear student, it is very important. Prevention of money laundering means, देखो, first let's say आपने कुछ, you have generated some illegal money. So you have to use some money laundering process to convert this illegal money to legal money, na? So that it look like you have derived all your money from the legal source. The process of converting from illegal money to legal money is called money laundering, and Indian law prevent this money laundering through the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. This act was passed in 2002. So look into possible generation of proceeds crime by accused. So how this they have generated? UP police alleged that the accused acted in organized manner to convert Hindu individuals, like an individual from Hindu to Muslim into Islam community. Okay. So whatever may be the proceeds of the crime, that is going to attach and later on confiscated. So next is officer assault case. Odisha BJP leader released from the jail. Recently we have seen, recently, a OS officer in the rank of additional municipal corporation and additional commissioner in the BMC, Ratnakar Shah, was assaulted very violently, brutally. So, and later on, the court granted the BJP leader Jagannath Pradhan. So, okay, after furnishing the warrant. So, after this incident, even the Odisha OS Association, they have staged a protest for action against the leader. Okay. So, Archaeological Survey of India allow retired Tamil Nadu archaeologist prepare report on the Kiladi excavation. So, we know that there is a civilization found in the Kiladi, Tamil Nadu, Sivkasi district. So, Archaeological Survey of India has given the permissions to the archaeologist P.S. Sri Raman, who led the third phase of excavation Kiladi in Shiv Ganga district, Tamil Nadu, to prepare detailed report work carried out under his supervision. So that means, we are undertaking unearthing a lot of things from there. So Sri Ram confirmed that he has sought permission from the ASI to write the report of excavation in the Kaladi and Kodu Mandal. 1 second, just 1 second. Okay, so next is there is a controversy emerged after refusal to revise report. They come a couple of months after the ASI asked the archaeologist Ramakrishnan, who unearthed the ancient civilization during the first two phase of excavation at Kiladi, revise. So they have asked to revise this report, but later on he refused. So later on he was transferred from here to the Assam. Okay? So since 2017, Tamil Nadu State Department archaeologists have been conducting excavation at the Kiladi. So dear student, for your you can say about art and culture, so it is very important. So they can ask about the Kiladi civilization, what are the finding. So you have to study in detail. By 2024-25, excavation had led to 10th phase and yielded hundreds of antiquities. So you have to study about that, what kind of antiquities found, what is the phase of this Kiladi. So controversies apart, so we are not concerned about all this political issue. We are concerned about findings. We are concerned about history, culture. Okay? So meeting in Delhi to resolve Satluj Yamuna link issue yield no outcome. So impasse surrounding the Satluj Yamuna link canal, the focal point of water sharing dispute between Haryana and Punjab, continue on Wednesday. So despite having meeting, no outcome. Okay? So Punjab has no surplus water for any other states. Even here south share from the Indus water, Mutadege, Yamuna, Satluj link canal instead of Satluj Yamuna link. Okay? So that means Punjab are against sharing any water with the Haryana, but Haryana government, they demand water. So that is the reason we are facing interstate water dispute. So medics threaten steer over Maharashtra move to allow homeopathy to practice allopathy. So recently Maharashtra government allow a practice, like after 1 year bridge course, those who are in homeopathy, they can practice the allopathic medicine. So after that, the medical association, you can say the allopathic medical association, and the Indian Medical Association, they staged a protest and they said that by allowing the allopathic doctor to practice, by allowing the homeopathic doctor to practice the allopathic, may lead to the degradation of the quality of medical treatment, and that is detrimental long-term effect. Okay? So that is the reason. But if you look into the medical condition in India, so many medical, we are facing huge shortage of doctors. So we need doctor, and it is not possible to fill the doctor in 1 year or 2 years. So what is the alternative? What is the alternative is that, those who are having in the homeopathy, we can provide them a bridge course, let's say 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. So after that bridge course, they can practice the medicine. They can help, reaching out to the rural area. You know that in rural area there is such as acute shortage of doctors, so that can be meted out. Even if we look into the Thailand, Thailand is quite successful in the healthcare sector. So they have achieved that by using this bridge course and using this traditional practitioner with bridge course to practice the modern medicine. But why doctor are opposing? They believe that by introducing that will weaken the medical practices and promote quackery. So that is the reason. So next is breaking bad in Rajasthan. Two teachers arrested for running clandestine drug lab. So recently, there is a very severe development happened. So National Narcotics Bureau, they found a lab that is being run by some of the chemistry teacher, science teacher. They manufacture some of the synthetic drug amount to crores of rupees. That is what called mephedrone. So also known as MD. So NCB search at the location found mephedrone, a value worth of crore rupees. International markets well chemicals and equipment used in manufacturing cost. So mephedrone is a synthetic stimulant drug in the cathinone family, which give feelings of euphoria, then happiness, winning. Immediately after consumption, it is addictive and continued use cause severe psychological and health repercussions. So we know that how drug is very severe. So NCB have earlier shared the red flag indication that identification of such facility in the Director General of Police in all state and South citizen support and fighting against the drug. We have to take very strict action, because drug is not only affecting the society, it is affecting everyone. So we have to take very strict step to prevent such things. Okay. So next is the film row rename, the following the row film rename as Janaki V versus State of Kerala. So we know that recently a film they produced, named Janaki, and Janaki is name of the Sita also. So this full movie actually basically dealt with, a you can say the rape victim or a sexual violence victim who is fighting for the justice. So there are certain section of the society they oppose that name, because they are saying that it is portraying the goddess in a bad light, and because of that Central Board of Film Certificate says that change the name so that it cannot hurt the sentiment, religious sentiment of the person. And after that, the you can say the film producer they changed, and now they'll get the certificate. So here there is a big question arises: what is about a free speech? For example, a producer is a creative expression, so they can produce according to their creative expression. But if that is going to hurt the sentiment of any section of the society, they simply protest and issue they issue the violence to stop publication of that movie now, which is against the principle of the constitution or article 19 of our constitution, which clearly stated that freedom of speech and expression. Okay. So here let's say in India, the name of the people are on the basis of god and goddess. So how many people you are going to, how many movie you are going to restrict on that line? So if that is the case, then it is very difficult for produce the movie, because if there is a criminal having, let's say, name any god name, so in that case people can go to the court and ask them to stop releasing that movie. So that is what going to create censorship in our creativity expression. So next, national strike turned into total shutdown in Kerala. So the private public stays carried. Recently there is a protest carried out by the trade union all over the India. So 24-hour strike, national strike called by the public private sector worker union protest against anti-labor policy of union government assume proportion of Bandh in Kerala on Wednesday. So because of the worker, they've started protest to protect their interests. So here you can talk about civil society organization, labor union, or trade union to protect the interest of the people. So works join the steer in Haryana and Delhi. So government employee, industrial and scheme worker, construction worker, farmer gather under the respective banner and flag across the Haryana on the Wednesday, holding public meeting and protest march in response to Bharat Bandh called by the Central Trade Union. Okay? So it was participation of women, scheme worker, midday meal scheme, ASA worker, then Anganwadi worker who reiterated their long-standing demand of regular job and equal pay. So they are, despite they are the frontline worker, they are not being paid regularly and equally. So 4 dead and 28 admitted to the hospital, Telangana, after consuming adulterated toddy. Toddy means palm, some sort of liquid that is produced from the palm. So this kind of incident is repeatedly happening all over the country. So that clearly indication that we need to have very strict the excise policy, and more importantly, we need to educate people. So this kind of things you can talk about case study of your essay. So they can ask, sorry, case study of your ethics. They can ask about case study in your ethics. So you have to write, use this case to write your answer. So women who died in quarantine, women who died in quarantine test negative for the Nipah. So here there is a woman who died in quarantine but turned out to be negative. So dear student, those who want to join our mentorship program, you can simply download our Strive AIS application. Here you will get the interview after faculty interview, like mentorship at very nominal fees. So next is the organic molecule. The organic molecules survive in space thanks to energy release valve. So there is a fascinating question: how life originated in the Earth. So one such answer is that polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon (PAH), a ring-shaped molecule of carbons and hydrogen. Astronomers think that they make fifth of all carbon in interstellar space. All our universe. So there is a hypothesis that the meteor brought PAHs from the space to the Earth and create first building block of the life, attaching importance value to their ability to survive in this space. So this much is important for our examination. Rest, which is not important for our examination. If you are doing higher research, all these things, then it is important. Okay. So next is intercontinental clock comparison set stage for to define the second. So normally in your home that you use the clock, it is quite different from the clock that we use in the space application, because there we can in our clock, in our household clock, it might be changed 1 minute 2 minutes in a month or two, but the clock that we use for the precision measurement like space and satellite GPS, they will change 1 minute in a millions year. So that precision, and with the development of development of latest technology, it is further going to be more accurate. It will take 16 billion year for simple changes. So first one is because they can enumerated 1 second up to 18 decimal place. That means we can divide 1 second to further 18 decimal. Like you can think about it. So decimal place, scientists expect the optical clock. So we are developing optical clocks, will be world new time standard around the 2030. Until then, however, optical clock have to pass rigorous test, testing their ability to walk step from different part of the world. Okay? So researcher from around the world have completed world largest and most demanding head-to-head comparison of clock in history to build confident for upcoming redefinition of the second. So currently, after we developing now, currently 6 digit is after the 6 second. So there are 6 digit. We are 16 digit. We are defining. Okay? So duration of a second is currently defined by Caesium atomic clock. So you have to remember. So laser count the radiation emitted by the atom in this device to measure 1 second, or gives or take few billion. Okay? The application where we are using this application of this precision measurement, the application of atomic clocks expand, including GPS. In GPS, we use navigation, climate science, and radio astronomy. The expectation of their performance have also increased, necessitating more advanced optical clocks. So we are proposing more optical clock. Optical clocks are more accurate. They are less energy intensive. Scientists around the world have been studying, testing these next generation device because they can enumerate 1 second up to around 18 decimal place. That means 1 second we can divide that into 1 point something 18 digit. So you can imagine that we can measure 10 to the power minus 18th of a second. Okay? So plus scientists expect that the optical clock will replace the Caesium atomic clock world new time standard around the 2030. Until then, however, optical clock will have to pass the rigorous test attesting their ability to work in a step different from the world. Okay? So still then we have to work. So good for 15 billion years. So the optical clock we are designing, it is good for, just a second, the optical clock we are designing. So it's good for 15 billion years. The wall clock hanging in our house is likely to powered by 2 AA battery and use quartz crystal to oscillate. After a few months, the clock start losing few seconds. But the Caesium atomic clock that define US national time standard lose only 1 second in 300 million years. So that means you can see how accurate it is. So American GPS network, Russian GLONASS. So here you can remember all these things. They can ask match the following: American GPS and Russia's GLONASS, and then European Galileo and India's Navic. Tell me in the comment box what is the name of navigation system used by the Chinese. Okay? Tell me in the comment box. Let me see how many of you know that. So it is something starting with B. Okay. So onboarding satellite to accurately measure the distance and data. So these clock are used to measure the accurate, distance and data, both civilian and military use. Astronomer use radio astronomy to piece together the signal received from different part of the telescope. Whenever you are receiving signal, so you need to have time signal to understand at what time we are receiving different signal. Climate scientists use the atomic clock for ultra precision measurement of earth gravity that reveal where ice water have lost. Okay. So that means we have a lot of applications. So in India, the National Physical Laboratory maintain 5 Cassium atomic clock. Their output is disseminated around the India via satellite telecommunication signals and fiber links. Even the synchronization of your power supply. So that is also needed the accurate time measurement. Okay? So that is the reason National Physical Laboratory also maintain 5 Cassium clock. So next is US short seller makes harsh claim against the Vedanta group. So dear student, it is a homework study about short seller. So what do you mean by short seller? What is it is different from the normal seller? So it is a homework you have to study about. You know that there is a, before that there is a short seller named Hindenburg that published a report against the our Adani. So you have to study that and understand what is the difference between short seller and normal trader. Okay. So SEBI rules allowing the credit rating agencies to rate more instruments. So market watchdog SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India, on Wednesday proposed permitting credit rating agencies to undertake rating of financial instrument that may come under the financial sector regulator, even if they are not issued by rating related guidelines. So the regulator suggested that credit rating agency may undertake any of this rating activity that are fee based or non fund based. Okay. So what credit rating agencies does, they simply provide the credit rating, like whether certain things are investment grade or not. On that basis people invest on a particular company. Let's say they publish a report that Reliance company is very good, you can invest. So on that basis we can simply invest. So instead of, if credit rating agency is not available, rating is not available, we have to go and study each and every company in details, which is very tedious and time consuming. Okay. So next is Starlink secure one more approval. So we know that the Starlink on Wednesday received authorizations to operate broadband satellite constellation over India from the Indian's National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. So dear student, it is your homework. You have to study about in space. You have to study about in space. So it is under which ministry, what are the objective, how it helpful for promotion of space sector. In space come after the Department of the Space. That is a second major approval Starlink received after in India after the global mobile personal communication by satellite authorized last month Department of Telecommunication. So you have to study in detail about all these things. Okay. So in space authorization step in right direction. Elon Musk owned SpaceX to run Starlink, which could beam which could internet where mobile connectivity is not available. So definitely it is going to helpful in our far-flung and rural area where general internet is not available. Okay. So next is a textile export watch the tariff move. Recently there is a there is a negotiation going on for mini trade deal, and you know that our textile export are mostly to the USA. So any change in the tariff or higher tariff is going to impact India negatively. So recently we have seen that US is also imposing 35% tariff from the Bangladesh. So that is the reason the industry is quite tensed. They watched and what how things are developing. Next, lithium ion battery recycling can touch 3.5 billion by 2030. So now we are using lithium ion so many things, mobile battery, different battery. But if we can properly recycle them, then we can extract a lot of lithium. So that reduce the demand for fresh lithium. It also act helpful in protecting environment. Also recycling lithium ion battery would spark the industry about 3.5 billions by 2030 with the right policy steps, as per the report released by Indian Cellular and Electronic Association. So Indian currently recycle only 1% of end life lithium battery. So 99% is simply waste. This recovery rate signal in urgent environmental challenges and major economic opportunity waiting to be unlocked. Recovering more end life lithium ion battery could feed back into Indian growing market demand for electric vehicle. We don't no need to demand on the fresh lithium. Electronics recycling informal sector. Most of electronic item we are currently recycling informal sector. Okay. So repairing and spare items. So policy push electronic maker to make more extended responsibility for their product year after they sold. So a report also recommended that key area of scaling of the domestic cell manufacturing, so that recycled battery have been to be productively be used for new manufacturing. Then hydrometeorological capability, reforming trade rules, revamping reverse logistics. Then next is reverse logistics means, once a mobile is sold to you, and at the end of life, you have to send back that mobile against to the owner. The topics assume importance because recently China imposed restriction on the cob of the rare earth minerals. So that means, in future we are going to face threat of this rare earth minerals. If we can recycle that, so that will reduce demand on the fresh minerals. Na? So next is the Sukla ton farmer in space grow Fengu Greeks and Green Gram. So in final leg of space sojourn, so Indian astronaut Subhanshu Shukla turned into a farmer, taking photo of the Green Gram and Green seeds sprouting in the petri dish, inserting them in a storage freezer on the International Space Station. So what is our objective? We are studying how this sprout is performing in the microgravity environment. What are the changes, and after that we'll brought all this sprout and cultivate in the earth to see what are the changes after the generation. Okay, so that is what the goal is, to identify the plant with desirable traits for genetic analysis, sustainable farming in this space. So here it is given the sprout experiment led by two scientists. So the once returned to the earth, this seed will be cultivated over the several generations to examine change in their genetics microecological system. Okay, terms and nutrition profiles and statement from the axiom space said that. So the another experiment deployed and show microalgae which are being investigated for their potentials to produce food, oxygen, or even biofuel. Their resilience and versatility make them ideal for supporting human life and long duration mission. So we can develop microalgae that can be used as a food, oxygen, even biofuel. Okay. So next is goal is to identify plant which desirable traits for genetic analysis and sustainable farming in this space. One particular research I'm excited about is stem cell research, where scientists are trying to explore whether it is possible to accelerate the recovery of the growth and repair injury by adding supplement to the stem cell. So this is what research we are conducting to understand better how it is performing in this space. So if some medicine we can develop, that is going to helpful. So panel grill Air India and DGCA safety manpower. So recently the parliamentary committee led by opposition, they questioned the DGCA for hours regarding the failure, failure of some of its things. For example, DGCA have faced top question including shortage of personnel. 45% of the sanction post lying vacant. Question raise its autonomy. So next is civil aviation sector is growing rapidly, but the still there are a lot of posts is lying vacant. And then next is Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, the Civil Aviation Ministry, the Airport Authority of India, as well as representative from several airlines. They have been questioned. And recently, the after this accident, Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, which investigating the Ahmedabad crash, detailed investigating process before the panel and propose submit preliminary required report within 30 days. So AAIB, that is Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, they have to submit the preliminary report, like how this accident happened within 30 days, but they are not able to submit that. So AIB, which 30 days they have to submit the report. So by as per the you can say standard given by the International Civil Aviation Organization. So dear student, tell me the headquarter of International Civil Aviation Organization located in which region? So let me see how many of you know that. So UN Aviation Watchdog, the 30 period concluding on the Friday. So when could people of India receive assurance from the safety of the flights? Because after this accident, so many people are fearful of taking any aircraft journey. So question were also raised about the Aircraft Investigation Bureau probe into the Air India crashes, whether the India had the ability to decode data from the black box, or if there was to need. So we don't know whether Aircraft Investigation Bureau, they are doing the research, or they are sending this you can say the black box for research in other countries. So that is what we also need to be know. So next is Nistar, India first indigenous diving support ship. Diving means dipping into the ocean water. So Indian Navy has received first indigenously designed built diving support vessel. Name is INS Nistar. So Hindustan Shipyard Limited, Visakhapatnam. This is being built. It is a 10,000 ton class equipped with state of art. So saturation diving up to 300 meters. So induction of Nistar, it is containing 75% of our indigenous content. So that means it is a push for indigenization. So next is Modi and Africa must, India and Africa must side by side. This is what said by the Prime Minister of Namibia. So India seeks to cooperate, not compete. We are not competing with Africa. Rather, we are helping cooperating to development of capability of the Africa. So with said by the Modi, he also congratulated Namibia for adopting UPI digital payment. Modi given country highest civilian honor. So dear student, you have to remember few civilian honor that has been given, last 10 civilian honor that has been given to the prime minister by different countries. So continuing his diplomacy focus on the south, global south, prime minister India support to the Namibia decolonization. So during freedom struggle, we are not only supporting by word, we are also supporting by action when we have fought for their independence. So African Union, so prime minister also pitch for African Union for adoption of the UPI. Prime Minister also highlighted the country wider African policy. Here, we are not here for competing. We are here for developing the capability. We are providing education, health, skill, and development of local industry. For example, India is planning to develop the vaccine capability in the Africa itself. So India is proud to be have stood with Namibia not just in word but in action during their freedom struggle. So joint session of the Parliament Namibia highlighting the historic support that India extended to the Namibia freedom fighting. So during next important thing that has been said that Africa must lead. Okay, so Africa should not just be a source of raw material and mineral but also lead in value creation and sustainable growth. Africa is rich in terms of mineral, but that is being exploited by all the global power, particularly China. But India is not in that favor. India want there should be development of Africa all round and industrialization of Africa. Okay, Modi met with the Namibian president, so then he also received the highest state of honor there. Okay, so this is all about this news. So just read it out so they can ask about some question. Okay. So in Supreme Court to hear petition against the revision of the electoral rule today. So we'll see how the things is evolved. So electoral, you can say the electoral register officer empowered to decide voter inclusion in absence of documents. Election Commission of India. So recently, it is the electoral registration officer who is going to decide whether this person is going to be included in the electoral roll or not. It is their discretion. So uh, we are simply giving away to the due process of law, and entire power is given to a single person. Let's say this single person may demand some money, corruption. So that is what the big question we need to answer. Okay, so about 25 crore workers join the strike, say Central Trade Union. So recently, Central Trade Union protest starting a conducting a protest all over India that is called Bharat Bandh to ensure their demand are met. Okay. So next is FATA comments on the state financing of terror financing. There is state terror financing India position on the Pakistan. Recently, a report, the Financial Action Task Force FATA accepted that involvement of the state in terror financing, which has been appealing or you can say raising repeatedly by the India. So that means a clear indications that clear involvement of Pakistan in this terror funding. So India play key role bringing out FATA report on the terror financing. So in that report, India played very important role. So just read them out, you'll understand. So there is a quite visible crisis in our higher education system, and that run diff academics. So that means though we are established a lot of educational institute and we have also achieved good quality, but the number of people each year they're entering into the you can say the workforce is quite high. So we need to do a lot. We need to increase more capability. We need to provide more things so that quality education can be ensured to the mass, not only to the selected few. So two pilot kill in the third Jaguar jet crash in the year. So Indian Air Force order probe trainer aircraft faced technical malfunction, forcing pilot to crash plane in the field of Rajasthan. So this is what said by the officials. So the Jaguar they are manufacturing 1917 aircraft. Jaguar developed by Anglo-French company, that is British and a French company, were inducted into IAF by 1970. So IAF currently operates 6 squadrons of Jaguars, and whilst and Indian Air Force is the only Air Force that use the Jaguar Air Force. We are using so many old aircraft to even fly. So because we don't have able to develop any particular aircraft, and there is severe delay. For example, Tejas is supposed to be developed by 1990s. Now we are on the 2025, so we are not yet developed. That means we are 30 years behind the schedule. That is the reason our air force is operating old aircraft, and all these old aircraft they are prone to the accident. So next important is turbulence history and lesson from the dark days of emergency. So that during emergency, so house are demolished and people are forced sterilized, and some of people are brutally tortured for opposing their ideas. So this is what the horror of the emergency. So it is already given here. You can just study it, and later on the committee established under Saha committee, Saha commission. So Justice Shah Commission established. They found excess and recommend penalty 6 months of jail for the Indira Gandhi also. So you can read that, you'll understand a lot. So how did Himachal Pradesh achieve a higher rank in the National Achievement Survey? Recently, National Achievement Survey is being published by Ministry of Health Affairs. So Himachal Pradesh is performing very well. So there are a lot of you can say good news about that. So just read it out, you'll understand. So apart from Himachal Pradesh, this idea is also very helpful. So we need to measure our performance and we need to learn best practices. If some state is not doing well, now they are doing very well, we need to understand what are the reason behind that. Na? So next, this is a very good thing. How can cat bond plan for natural disaster? So this is talking about catastrophic bond. Nowadays we are seeing that the catastrophe, you can say, about disaster is rising very rapidly, and the insurance premium, let's say a particular region suffering from the earthquake. So if there is an earthquake, the losses are in the tunes of 100 billion, 200 billion, which is beyond the capability of any insurance company. So in that case, we can tap the catastrophic bond. What do you mean by catastrophic bond? So I'm just giving you an example of that. Let's say we can issue that bond to the people. So people can get continuous interest from that bond, but in case of any catastrophe, any disaster, so entire amount will not, they will not get entire amount. That means whatever money they are getting, it should be on the basis of whether disaster happened or not. Let's say आपने you have deposited 100 you can say 1 lakh in catastrophic bond, and you will get each month, let's say 10% as a interest. But if there is a disaster happen, you will not get your principal. This is one type of catastrophic bond. So there are so many other catastrophic bond also exist. So this is talking about we need to develop market for the catastrophic bond. Let's say one more thing. For example, each of the you can say about the country, they can contribute something and fund a pool of catastrophic bond. In case of any natural disaster happen any part of the world, that fund can be used for funding that catastrophic. So this article is talking about that. And so if something asking about cat bond, that means catastrophic bond. Okay. So next is number of elephant that is died in Assam between 2023 last 23 year. It is 1200 elephants. So you can know about the magnitude. So Delhi refueling ban, simple policy but imprecise. So that means we have simply started a policy, but it is very difficult to implement. There are a lot of shortcomings. Recently Delhi government decided the vehicle that is 10-year old, 10-year more than 10-year old in case of diesel and 15-year in case of petrol, they will not get any petrol from the petrol pump by using automatic number plate recognition system. So if their vehicle are old, so then petrol pump can deny that. But driver, they are finding a lot of way to circumvent that. They are petrol, they are filling their petrol outside. Okay. So and that is the reason, before implementing anything, we have very concrete plan of everything. Okay. So next is end the custodial brutality, being benign criminal justice reforms. So what happened recently? We are seeing so many people are dying in the under the police custody. So like this is a very sad incident. Police are supposed to protect the people, but they are killing. So why this is happening? Because police are under intense stress. They have to perform a lot of duties, overburden, so over duty. So that is the reason they are behaving in a unhuman way. So one way is to not only invest on the physical capability weapon, but we need to invest in their mental well-being, psychological support, and all this training, advanced training. Then only we can make our police more sensitive towards people. And first of all, they during their training, we need to give them rigorous training how they are going to deal with the people. Okay. So and we need to change the mindset that police force to police service, so that they have to understand it is the service, they have to service to the people. Okay. So death by negligence. Recently one more death happened because of there is a unmanned crossing. Gate at the crossing level, gate is open while the boss is carrying the these children, they are passed. At that time a train ram over them and killing people. So this kind of maximum rail accident happened at the level crossing. So we have to take concrete steps, we have to fill the gap in our system, so that we can save the precious life there. Okay. So next is the building resilience. So Rio Declaration underline the cohesion within the BRICS. So 17th BRICS summit that is being held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So newly joined members. So you have to remember Egypt, Ethiopia, UAE, Iran, and Indonesia. These are the 5 new members, and Saudi Arabia not yet joined. Okay. So it is also followed the during on this backdrop, there is a in USA, Israel, they attack the Iran. Then also Israel is bombing in this backdrop, and again India is there is a 4 day conflict between India and Pakistan and G summit. So despite all this development, there is a cohesion. So and also even Donald Trump threatened to impose 10% tariff on the BRICS country because of anti-American sentiment. So India was able to ensure that paragraph with tough language condemning Pahalgam terror attack and reference to the terror financing and cross-border movement of terrorists. India, Brazil own the endorsement for whole grouping playing a larger role in UNS Security Council. Okay? So next, Rio the Declaration also took strong view of the USA move on the tariff. India prepare for next leadership. That means chairmanship of the BRICS is moving to India next year. So now the representation, BRICS represent around 40% of the global GDP and quarter of the global trade. Okay, so given the significant contribution of the BRICS, it can move forward with consensus and act as a building resilience innovative for cooperation resilience. So this is what the proposal is given by our Prime Minister: building resilience and innovation for cooperative and sustainability. This is what given by Prime Minister as a new definition of the BRICS. Okay. So next is this is a very good article. Is talking about Israel has failed to solve the Persian puzzle. So what happened? Israel prime targets was Iran nuclear facility, but Iran know that if it started a war in Iran, so country many Iran is many times big that of the Israel. So with having Iran is also having thousands of ballistic missile could strike back. So there were three targets. So first Iran nuclear facility, then nuclear scientist and leader of the armed forces. So Israel is very much clear that Iran is much big power having significant capability. Instead of going all out wars, conduct some precision strike on the nuclear side, some scientists and the top brass of their army. So operational success. So Israel has been preparing strike on the Iran for long. Okay, program for year planned gained momentum after 8th 7th 17th 7th October 2023 attacked by the Hamas. When Hamas attacked Israel and took some people as a hostage, Israel, which immediately launched war against the Hamas in Gaza, eventually expanded a mini regional war amidst defeating Iran. So it's given blow to the Hezbollah, bombed the Iranian embassy in Damascus and killed several Iranian commander in the Syria. It relentless bombing in the Syria expedite the collapse of Bashar al-Assad regime. Also the return of Donald Trump to the West House also hardened the Israel resolve to test the military operation. So while Tehran was still in talk with USA, so this Israel used this as an opportunity to attack the Iran's Natanz, Isafa, Isfahan, and Fardo. So you have to remember all this location. If they ask about this location, are recently seen in news related to what? It is a nuclear development site, or you can say of Iran. Okay? So killing at least 10 nuclear scientists, assassinating many top commander, executing such a complex operation vast away 2000 kilometer away. So it's not an easy task. Okay. So success failed to deliver the strategic outcome. So Israel, which established credible deterrence against the surrounding conventional Arab army. So Iran has always remained puzzled. So Iran. So Israel main aim is to destroy the nuclear power regime change, but USA main aim is to just destroy the power. So once there is a no nuclear power in the West Asia, so only one country left that is powerful is Israel. So their dominance is going to be there. So after this attack, Iran also counter attack with using ballistic missile drone. So when Israel is not able to sustain this attack, so then enter of the USA. USA bombed their nuclear site by using B2 bomber. They use some bunker buster bomber to destroy all these sites. Okay. So next the main intention of Israel is to change of the regime so that once for all their nuclear threat will be resides. But for USA, their main aim is to not involve in the prolonged Iranian war. Rather, they want Iran without a nuclear weapon. So that is the difference. So Tehran. So now after this bombing, so there is a thinking in Iran mindset that in future also anytime USA and Israel they may attack them again. So they are planning to develop the nuclear weapon for sure, so that their regime is protected, just like the North Korea. No one dare to attack North Korea because of the nuclear weapon. Okay. So dear student, this is all about the 10th July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So dear student, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and please comment in the comment box if you have any suggestion, feedback, anything. So your suggestion, feedback are always welcome. So we'll have to end our discussion here. Dear student, bye bye. Take care. Have a good day.